Good evening. My name is Pete Jinks, and I'm proud to be the principal here at Springdale High School. I think you're in for a great treat tonight as we're going to celebrate some music with our instrumentalists here and our three bands. Please remember that we'd ask that cell phones, and please put them on silent or shut them off. They can tend to be disturbing if they're going off in the middle of a musical piece. And if we have any young bulldogs out there, little bulldogs out there that might get a little fussy during the concerts, we ask that you escort them back to the back lobby so that other people can enjoy the concert. We appreciate your help with that. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the concert winds. They are directed by Miss Amy Hinkson, who comes to us from Lakeside Junior High, where she's assistant band director there. And I can tell you from personal experience, she's done a tremendous job with them as I walk by first period every morning and listen to them rehearse. And we're very pleased and happy that she's able to join us here at Springdale High School. So, Ms. Hinkson, take it away.
Thank you. Like you said, my name is Amy Hinkson. I never spoke at the pre-concert assessment, and so I just wanted to say thank you for letting me teach your children every day. We've had a lot of fun times in the morning, and I know I've learned a lot, and I hope they have as well. We're going to go ahead and get started tonight with Encanto. I hope you enjoy. This next piece is a bit off the beaten path. It's the Lady Gaga Fugue, and a lot of pop tunes are kind of shied away from by directors because they're not great literature. But this piece was written just for that fact. It is taking the Lady Gaga, a piece by Lady Gaga, and writing it in fugue style so that the students can learn the fugue style, but they have a recognizable piece. I told them if we played an actual Bach fugue, they probably would fall asleep during rehearsal. So at least this time, they recognize the motive, the theme, and they get to just play what they hear on the radio. So I hope you enjoy the Lady Gaga Fugue. Just real quick, I wanted to say thank you again for coming out tonight. We're going to finish our portion with Adrenaline Engines.
Well, that first group really set the tone for this evening. A great job by the concert winds. We want to thank you for doing an outstanding job. I love the Lady Gaga fugue. The next group is the Symphonic Winds. They're under the direction of Mr. Daniel Hodge. Mr. Daniel Hodge comes to us by way of Fort Smith. He grew up in Fort Smith and then went to Oklahoma. And then went to Oklahoma Central University and graduated there. I believe the master's at Oklahoma City University, and then started out his career at Berryville High School. If you could have seen or heard any of the Berryville bands, you were greatly impressed by what was going on. And so I want to introduce Mr. Daniel Hodge. Tonight will be the director of the athletic bands here at Springdale next year. He'll be in charge of the marching band, and I think you're going to be in for a great treat next fall. But for now, Mr. Daniel Hodge in the Symphonic Winds.
Next on our program, we have a unique experience. Earlier this semester, we had a competition within our ensemble called the conductor competition. And I wanted to afford a student of our ensemble an opportunity to conduct a piece on our concert. And we picked a section of a piece that we had been working on, and about 20 students came up and conducted that. They had some lessons with me in my office, and I asked them some questions on the audition day, a little bit about the history of the piece, the composer, and so many students did a wonderful job and really deserved the opportunity. I had the difficult decision of picking just one student. And I have done this several times in my career, and I feel like it's a really great experience for some young student to come up and hear the ensemble from the front. And actually, I've never had a student have this honor and not go on to study music. I think that experience was that important to them. The next person on stage to conduct our ensemble is none other than Maestro Jacob Hart. What you just saw was incredible. That piece of music is very difficult to conduct. And so proud of Jacob and his musicianship and just his demeanor in front of the students has been really wonderful. Next, I'd like to invite someone else onto the stage. Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Nathan Cunningham, I believe is in the audience. Is this correct? There he is. Mr. Nathan Cunningham came to us from the University of Arkansas as our student intern, and he was with our program through the beginning part of this semester and left us around the middle of March and was an integral part to our success as an ensemble and also just other ensembles around our program. He was the drum major at the University of Arkansas for 3 years, and his parents and grandparents were band directors, so he has been around. He was like a free band director for us. He was not somebody that I had to, it's okay, now here's how you look at the students and don't cuss at them and all this. And, you know, he really knew how to carry himself and was really, really beneficial to us, very valuable. I have a little presentation for him. He has really been not only a great help to me, but a wonderful friend. I feel like we've kind of developed a friendship that will last a lifetime. He and I share a very deep love of music, and particularly classical music, and I think we share a passion for a specific piece of music. Some of you in the audience will recognize the name Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. One of the greatest pieces that he ever wrote was for winds, and Nathan got an opportunity to actually conduct this piece up in Michigan, right, last summer with some of the great musicians up there. And I have in my possession, soon to be in his possession, a facsimile of the original manuscript of the Gran Partita. It's a fabulous piece of music. I do suggest that you all go home and listen to it. But he will have this forever now to be able to look at the original penmanship of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Nathan will be conducting later with the wind ensemble. The last piece that you're going to hear from us tonight is a piece called Urban Dances by Eric Morales. It's a great piece, high energy, and we've had a lot of fun working on it. I hope you enjoy Urban Dances.
We have a special performance for you tonight. Rachel Lewis will be performing Carl Maria von Weber's Clarinet Concerto No. 2, Opus 74. Rachel is currently a junior at Springdale High School and has studied with Mr. Earl Allen since she was in the 8th grade. Her list of accomplishments include first chair for the North Arkansas All-Region Orchestra, All-Region Band for 4 years, 3 years placing first chair in the region, 2 years in the All-State Winds Wind Symphony, 5th chair her sophomore year, 4th chair as a junior. The 2012 Woodwind Division winner of the Stella Boyle Smith Young Artist Competition as a 9th grader. The Stella Boyle Smith Young Artist Competition is a statewide talent competition for piano, strings, woodwinds, and brass. The Arkansas Symphony Orchestra Guild sponsors the competition, designed to identify and nurture talent through education and performance opportunities with the ultimate goal of enhancing the level of music making in the state of Arkansas. Contestants must be residents of the state and between the ages of 12 and 18. No specific repertoire is required, but selections must be a movement of a composition for solo instrument and orchestra and performed from memory. This year, Rachel again won the Woodwind Division of the Stella Boyle Smith Young Artist Competition and was the overall winner for the competition. Rachel is currently the principal clarinet player for the Ozark Philharmonic Youth Orchestra and serves as the principal clarinet player for the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble. She is accompanied tonight by Miss Tracy Hall. Please welcome to the stage Miss Rachel Lewis.
Let's have the first row come up. First row. Percussion. First row. Second row, please.
Welcome to the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble's portion of tonight's concert. The Wind Ensemble is under the direction of Mr. Russell Robinson. Mr. Robinson, a 1975 graduate of Springdale High School, began his teaching career with the Altus Denning Public Schools in 1982. From 1985 to 1991, he taught for the Pulaski County Special School District, teaching at Jacksonville Junior High School, then at Joe T. Robinson High School. In 1991, he became the assistant band director at Springdale's Central Junior High School. He became an assistant band director at Springdale High in 1993, and then was appointed to associate director of bands in 1994. In 2001, he was selected as the director of bands for Springdale High School and the Springdale School District. As the director of bands at Springdale High School, his bands have had superior ratings every year and received numerous requests to perform across the United States. The Wind Ensemble's first selection this evening is Jack Stamp's arrangement of the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1986, while a graduate student at Michigan State University, Jack Stamp did an arrangement of our national anthem for Wind Ensemble. The arrangement treats the work as a hymn or ballad rather than a drinking song style of the tune's origins. Most of us are very familiar with the first verse, but the fourth verse is patriotic poetry that could have been written for any occasion that our troops or citizens are put in harm's way. Oh, thus be it ever, when free men shall stand between their loved home and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must, when our cause it is just, and this be our motto, in God is our trust. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph shall wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now, please welcome to the stage Mr. Russell Robinson and the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble. American composer Eric Whitacre didn't begin studying music until he was 18 and went on to earn his Master of Music degree at Juilliard School of Music. He quickly became a popular composer, conductor, and lecturer, and many of his works have entered the standard choral and instrumental repertories. October was commissioned by a consortium of Nebraska bands and was premiered in May of 2000, and it is dedicated to Brian Anderson, who arranged for the commission. In this work, Whitaker sought to compose music that was simple yet elegant, in quotes, because there isn't enough lush, beautiful music for winds, end quote. Our conductor for October will be University of Arkansas intern Nathan Cunningham. Nathan is a graduate of Conway High School. He has been the drum major for the Razorback Marching Band for 3 years, this past year serving as their head drum major. He will be graduating this Saturday with a degree in music education from the University of Arkansas. He is a third-generation band director. It has been mine and Russell's privilege to watch this young man grow from, well, we've known him his whole life. We've watched him grow. He's a fine young man. And on May 17th, he will be marrying the beautiful Miss Taylor Bell. Yes, isn't that sweet? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Nathan Cunningham. Commissioned by the Fay West Honors Band of Fayette and Westmoreland counties in Pennsylvania, Arlington, where giants lie sleeping, by Paul Murtha, is a tribute to the generations of American servicemen and women buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Their selfless service and sacrifice in the defense of our country and way of life has made them all giants as they find their eternal rest in Arlington. The opening statement, Memorial Gate, paints a musical portrait of the cemetery. When you see it, you are struck by its simple beauty and the sheer weight of what it represents. The distant trumpet statements represent the sound of bugles that are heard at Arlington daily. The composer states the most moving sights you'll see is thousands of American flags that have been placed at the graves just before Memorial Day. When he sees this, it always brings to mind the familiar song, My Country 'Tis of Thee, and the lyrics, Sweet Land of Liberty, which is at the core of the service and sacrifice of these men and women. Often at Arlington Cemetery, you can hear one of our nation's military bands in procession playing the proud, powerful hymn, God of Our Fathers. Some call it our national hymn. When heard in that setting, it brings to mind the courage, strength, and sacrifice of the giants that lay sleeping at Arlington. Please welcome back to the stage Mr. Russell Robinson as we continue with Arlington, where sleeping giants lie. Charlie, would you bring the house lights up just a little bit, please? On the program, you'll see symbols by a student's name. This designates the honor that students have received this year. At this time, we would like to have the 54 all-region band students please stand and be recognized. All region. Thank you very much. You may be seated. We had 3 all-region jazz band students. Would you please stand? Thank you. We had 1 all-state jazz band student and 1 first alternate. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, ladies. We had 3 all-region orchestra students. Oh, sorry, we had 4. Good job, Calvin. We had 1 all-state chamber orchestra student. Thank you. We had 13 all-state band students, if you would please stand. Thank you very much. The Italian songwriter Luigi Denza was a prolific composer of songs, of which about 600 survive. Funiculi Funicula, his most popular song, was composed in 1880 to commemorate the opening of the funicular railway. It is not known when the great cornet virtuoso Herman Belstead, soloist with the John Philip Sousa Band, first conceived the idea of a set of theme and variations on the well-known tune for cornet and band. The parts were bequeathed to Belstead's student and successor as soloist with Sousa's bands, Frank Simon, and it is Simon's edition of the solo, known under the title, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Napoli, close, which is still heard on concert programs today. Our guest soloist for this evening is Mr. Brent Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell is the band director for Sonora Middle School and is a 1993 graduate of the Springdale High School. From Springdale, he went on to study music and graduated from Arkansas Tech University. He was accepted to the University of North Texas, which is a very prestigious music school, where he earned a master's in musical performance in the spring of 2000 under the tutelage of world-renowned euphonium soloist and educator Brian Bowman. Mr. Mitchell began his teaching career in Texas and shortly thereafter moved back home to Springdale. He was assistant band director at Southwest Junior High and then assistant band director at HAR-BER High School. Mr. Mitchell resides in Elm Springs and is married to his college sweetheart, Dawn Mitchell. Together, they have 2 children, Caden and Kaylin Mitchell. Now please welcome to the stage euphonium soloist Mr. Brent Mitchell and the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble.
I'll save this for. First, I want to thank our district administrators, Dr. Jim Rollins, his staff, Dr. Marsha Jones, Mr. Jared Cleveland, Dr. Gary Compton, Ms. Kim Garrett, Dr. Kathy Morledge, and Mr. Clay Hendricks. Our high school administrators, Mr. Pete Chinks, John Wesson, Marcia Smith, Joseph Rollins, Ladina Eads, and our high school faculty and staff. I also want to thank the district band directors because at some point, all these students have been taught by one of these directors. The high school directors are Daniel Hodge, Jeremy Ford, C.J. Morris. Junior high band directors, Jan Bozeman, Mike Eccles. Some of you thought Jan Bozeman retired, but she came back to help us out. At Central, it's been confusing because every time I see her, I think of Southwest. But Jan Bozeman, Mike Eccles, Chris Shelby, Brian Watt, Omar Alonso, Amy Hinkson, Chris Moore, Michael Post. Middle school directors Janice Bingston, Danny Darrow, Brent Mitchell, and Julie Huffman. Our fine arts department, in choir, Rhonda Hawley and Millie Peters, drama, Linda Button, art, Carla Caraway, Amanda Craddock, and Stacy Pomeroy. Our Performing Arts Center is 21 years old, and it's in great condition. It's due to the fact of these people right here. Our technical director, Mr. Chris Button, our custodian maintenance, Sandy Smeltzer and Rick Smeltzer. And a special thank you to our band secretary, Martha Manley. I also wanted to say thank you to our parents. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your family's life. If I could have the senior parents, Charlie, bring up the lights. Senior parents, stand. Senior parents. Thank you for your efforts for allowing your child to receive a musical education. Without your support, getting your child to and from events and listening to the hours of practice throughout the years, we would not have the program that we have here at Springdale High School. I got this from Miss Bankston, I think last night, and it's about the University of Arkansas Band expands its scholarship program. Every student in the University of Arkansas Band last year received some type of financial a reward for being in band. And, you know, we talk all the time of the rewards that these students will get. I would like the seniors to stand that are getting some type of financial aid to go to school or technical school next year. Doesn't matter if it's a music scholarship, just you'll find that the liberal arts have many, many more opportunities for scholarships and afforded more scholarships. We have a student that's is having a hard time with this nice fancy scholarship at the University of Arkansas, or does she go to MIT? I don't think I ever would have had that kind of option when I was growing up. I would like, first of all, on the program you see the seniors' names of the class of 2014. I'd like for all the seniors to stand, please, and remain standing. I want to pass along to you something that one of my high school band, stay standing. One of my high school band directors told me, you can do anything you want to do if you want to do it bad enough. In band, when we are learning a new piece of music, there are a lot of mistakes and failures. However, when we fail, we look at it as an opportunity to try again or to do it differently. Because the only way for you to fail in band is to give up, just like in life. I want to impart on you to do your very best at everything that you do, not just the things that you like, and to remember, good excuse, bad excuse. Thank you. One more thing. I think this is what some of you were looking forward to. The TV. Okay. It goes to Teresa Scott. Teresa here? We have her phone number.
Oh, don't forget your stick. Nitro, an energy-charged 3-minute fanfare for band, was commissioned by the North Shore Concert Band in celebration of their 50th anniversary season and received its premiere performance by them on April 9th, 2006. Nitrogen is the most abundant component of the Earth's atmosphere, 78% by volume, and is present in the tissues of every living thing. It is the 5th most abundant element in the universe, created by the fusion deep within stars, and it has recently been detected in interstellar space. The sheer prevalence of nitrogen in all of nature and the infinite range of compounds it is part of, life-giving, energizing, healing, cleansing, explosive, which appealed to Kelly and served as an inspiration for his music. The main music idea for Nitro is a powerful, angular theme, first announced by the trombones and horns, and imitated in the trumpets. The middle section is based on a woodwind theme that is partly fanfare-like, partly dance-like. This contrasting theme is built from intervals occurring in the natural overtone series, octave and 12th, giving it an expansive, open-air quality. The main theme reappears growing in power and density, all the while building to a thunderous conclusion. The Springdale High School Wind Ensemble concludes this evening concert with Frank Tikelly's Nitro.
Thank you for being here this evening.